Congratulations, new checks are finally coming to millions of Americans. These checks are approved and recently announced.
The day has finally arrived. We've been talking for over a year about putting more money back in people's pockets. And I'm so proud to be here at this wonderful place to talk about what this means to real families, the fact that we've worked so hard.
Congratulations, and this is huge as New Yorkers begin receiving inflation refund checks worth up to $400, and Governor Katie Hochul finally revealed the details and she announced this good news, and this is huge, but it doesn't stop here. What about more stimulus payments to millions of Americans from federal administration? And do you know, more states are sending inflation relief checks? Look at this. Will there be a stimulus check in 2025? Yes, there is going to be a stimulus check in 2025, and not all Americans are going to receive it, but millions will still receive it. Well, this is huge for millions of Americans who are waiting for relief, and in this very important video, I'm going to give you all the details of these very important checks, starting from $400 all the way up to $2,000. But before I begin, all I need is just a little favor. It takes 2 seconds to please hit that like button on this video. So without any further ado, let's start the video. Congratulations once again, because millions of New Yorkers are going to receive inflation relief checks. These checks are approved, confirmed, and coming, and recently announced by Governor Katie Hochul.
The day has finally arrived. We've been talking for over a year about putting more money back in people's pockets. And I'm so proud to be here at this wonderful place to talk about what this means to real families, the fact that we've worked so hard. And I want to thank Ashley and DeQuetta for joining us here today. I'll be hearing their remarks shortly. We also have some elected officials. Our county executive, Dan McCoy, is here. Let's give him a round of applause. Our mayor, Kathy Sheehan. Thank you, Mayor. Our partners in the state legislature, Assemblymember John McDonald. And I'm going to say this, don't get confused, there's another John McDonald in the audience.
Well, let me just show you this right here. You see this chart? Well, inflation refund checks up to $400 for a family. Checks are being mailed now through November, and up to 8.2 million New York households are going to receive it. This is huge. Congratulations to New Yorkers.
The original John McDonald, who today celebrates his 95th birthday, has joined us. Mr. McDonald, please stand up. The father of our health commissioner, father of our assembly member. There you go. He said, I heard you're handing out money for my birthday. I said, yes, I'm coming over. This is all about you, Mr. McDonald. 37-year employee at the state DOT, so extraordinary service as well. Members of my team are here from Department of Taxation and Finance, and other members of my administration, as well as our community partners and friends in labor. So, what are we doing?
As you can see right here, that it shows inflation refund checks, and 8.2 million New Yorkers are going to get it.
I have said for a long time, I know what it's like, how families struggle. You just get this sense you're not getting ahead. What are you doing wrong? You got the job you thought would make a difference, or the degree you thought would make a difference. You work hard, and you know the bills keep piling up. And you just look at them and say, when will it ever stop? And why are the numbers getting higher and higher? It's your utility bills, your grocery bills, the mortgage or the rent bills. It just seems incessant. And now insurance. Have you seen insurance premiums lately?
Do you know, like, the insurance premiums are going up 22%, and this is shocking, where the inflation is already eating up a big chunk of millions of families' finances, and now it seems like they are going to get this money.
It's incessant. And New York families are just getting so beaten down sometimes. And I reflect back on my early days, very early. Little girl growing up near Lake Erie, near the Bethlehem Steel Plant. My parents lived in a trailer park. Eventually they were able to do a little better. Got a little apartment where I lived. And next house, a lot of little kids kept showing up. And I've told you, my mom had to make that meal budget stretch. Family of 8. You know what spreads a lot? Pancakes. We had pancakes for dinner a lot.
And this is the story, not just for Katie Hochul, but millions of households are actually going through this situation right now.
We're talking about it in concrete, real terms that are going to make a difference. And that's what a check is all about. It's going to show up. And we have, depending on your income, up to $400 a person are going to get a check starting very soon through the month of October and November. So watch for it. Now, I'm going to tell you this. If your neighbor gets it and you don't start calling us. Give us October and November, okay? I don't know the logic behind all this, but this is what I'm told is the time frame. So you'll have it just in time for your holiday shopping, okay?
So if you see that anyone else is receiving these checks or already received this check, then don't get disheartened, because you will receive this up to $400 check. Depend on your income. And one thing is very important right here, as Katie Oshul said, that you need to have patience, because your neighbor can get it and you don't. But don't worry, in the month of October and November you can get this check anytime, but it has to be in October and November. This is huge for millions of New Yorkers. Around 8.2 million New Yorkers are going to get this up to $400 worth of inflation relief check. Congratulations.
So I think that's a big win. We're going to continue. This is not just a one-off. We're working on our state of the state right now. Last I checked, inflation is not going down. Interest rates are still high. Washington is still slamming us with everything going up because of the tariffs. Have you noticed this already? And they just said they're going to put 50%, 100% tariffs on pharmaceuticals. And the list yesterday was mind-boggling. And you know who pays for that? You think the big corporate giants are going to say, you know what? Americans have paid enough. We'll just absorb this extra cost. That's not happening. You're going to be paying for that when you check out or go to the pharmacy counter. You're going to be taking that cost and absorbing it along with everything else you're paying. So we're not done. We're going to continue finding ways, in light of what is going on there, to be responsive, to show we get it, we understand, we hear your voices, New Yorkers, and that's why we are proud to announce the completion and the start of our first ever inflation rebate. We'll be hitting your mailboxes soon. It's going to look like this, everybody. Okay? And I'm going to show you how. Thank you, everybody.
This is huge for millions of New Yorkers. Around 8.2 million are going to get it. Congratulations, but beware of scams, because if you receive your check in your mailbox, you need to keep checking your mailbox, because bad people or bad actors can steal your check. So please keep an eye on your mailboxes in the month of October and November. Try to actually check your mailbox every single day and check that when the USPS van comes and delivers the mail, so be exactly on time. And this is huge, but congratulations. Well, this is something that you all deserve, and as you heard Katie Oshul, that it will keep coming. So maybe next year you will receive the check again, or probably for next 10 years, who knows. All right, let's move towards that. Will there be a stimulus check in 2025? If you already know that Josh Hawley recently introduced the American Worker Rebate Act, and under this act, adults will get $600, dependent will get $600, and a couple will get $1,200, and a family of 4 can receive up to $2,400. But what's up with that? Well, let me just be really straightforward. Nothing. The American Worker Rebate Act, unlikely to pass. You may have seen headlines about the plan to send tariff-funded rebate checks to American households. This is a real bill known as American Worker Rebate Act, as I mentioned earlier. However, it's only a proposal. It hasn't passed either chamber or the Congress. There's no sign that it's close. So you need to understand that even Republicans are opposing this bill, and nobody knows why. Well, then, payments Americans might actually see in 2025. Alaskans, congratulations, a PFD, permanent fund dividend, is coming to you of up to $1,000 per eligible residence, with payment beginning in the month of October. Congratulations, Alaskans, $1,000 is a huge amount. Then state tax rebates and refunds. Several states issue periodic rebates tied to budget rules, surplus revenue. For example, Colorado has issued a small TBOR refund this year, and residents who have not yet filed their 2024 tax returns can still receive one. The amounts are modest, but they're real. Check your state revenue site for details. And remember that there's other federal child tax credit if you have kids, because it has increased a bit. So you need to keep an eye on your mailbox and talk to your CPA about it. This is something that you need to know. But other than that, no, there's no stimulus check coming. But what about the $2,000 stimulus that I talked about? Well, look at this. The $2,000 stimulus check rumor is false. Keep this in mind. And if anyone tells you that $2,000 is coming, it's not coming yet. Well, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video very soon. Till then, please take care and have a nice day.